if you're somebody that struggles with negative thoughts ruining your social interactions, please watch this video. I used to strongly experience this exact same thing myself before going into social interactions that were important to me with people that I'd like to connect with a girl I was going on a date with maybe it's a party where girls are going to be at and I know I'm going to want to talk to them. I would start hours even before the social event. Let's say the social event's at 5 in the evening. I would start back at like 11 a.m. plotting and planning. The wheels of my brain would start turning and I'd start thinking about the event at 5. I would start running through scenarios in my head that I thought might happen. And I would try to create these contingencies for what I was going to do to prevent those things. I get an opportunity or to take action on something, right? I would create these plans in my mind that if that girl is looking at me, then I'm going to go do this. Or if this person says this thing, then I'm going to crack this a joke. I'm going to make sure my body language is like this, right? I would start planning every step. And in doing so, what started out as positive and what was intended as a beneficial, a helpful effort for myself, turned into something negative very quickly. What would happen is that very quickly into this mental thought process, into the wheels of my mind spinning, me running through scenarios, me running through game plans, contingencies, is that I would start reminiscing about false negative events. So I might start by thinking of a real negative event that may have happened to me. I would latch onto it. I would really overemphasize that in my brain, really overemphasize the image of what happened, the event, and then the emotions, those strong negative emotions that I felt with that event. I would latch onto those really strongly. So I'm hyper focused on that. And what happens from that is that then I'm actually creating false negative events. I'm taking the same feelings from the real event, these same very potent negative feelings that maybe even at the time that the event happened were not that potent, but that I'm overblowing now in my mind. I'm taking those strong emotions and then I'm making my own negative scenarios for myself. Now you might sit there and go, wow, this sounds like a really bad habit of self-sabotage. This sounds like you're really attacking yourself, and you're exactly right. That's exactly what is happening in this scenario. Because you probably, just like I used to, you probably right now see yourself as someone socially anxious, someone that's awkward. You probably see yourself as someone that messes up in social interactions. You've probably said things like, I'm really awkward. I always make mistakes in social interactions. I always mess up with other people. I can never do social interactions right. Things like that. Maybe not those exact things, but things similar, right? You identify as this awkward, socially anxious, unconfident person. And so what's going to happen is that you're going to create those kinds of narratives for yourself, even if they're fake. Again, going into social interactions, I could be the only one. I don't know. But I'd bet that if you've watched this far into the video, you are also somebody that you're creating fake interactions. And they're not real social interactions. They're not real negative social interactions. They're fake. They're mental movies that you're creating for yourself before going into social interactions. And the reason that you do this is because, again, your self-image is as someone who's awkward, who's unconfident, who's socially anxious. Now what you're going to do in order to live up to this self-image, because you will do the actions necessary to live up to the self-image that you have of yourself. You absolutely will. Think about people that just can't quit drugs or addictive substances that quote unquote can't. The biggest issue that psychologists have found with those people is that their self-image is as a drug addict, is as an alcoholic, is as whatever, a meth addict, whatever it is. Their biggest issue, psychologists have found, there's massive bodies of work, massive studies done about this, that the biggest issue with those people is just their mental image of themselves. It's just their self-image. And the biggest change that those people make is in changing their self-image to not see themselves as an addict anymore, and instead to see themselves as a person that doesn't have an issue, that just doesn't struggle with those things, that just doesn't want to do those things, that lives free from them without an issue. And so I know I got a little off track, but that information is important relating to what I'm telling you in regards to social interactions. Going into social interactions, it's important that you see yourself as a socially confident person. And I know that there's a lot out there about, there's a lot of like, I don't know, corny, kind of weird, spiritual bullshit information about visualization and self-image and stuff out there. And people telling you, you got to see yourself the right way, it'll manifest into your life. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that's very real, that's a God-given part of our psychology that you should be taking advantage of. Going into social interactions, it is very important that you see yourself as a confident person, just like a person that is addicted to drugs needs to see themselves as a person that's free in order for the behaviors to then follow that. As soon as you can change your self-image, that is when you'll start to see the behaviors change. Because I really don't think that the behavior of you being socially anxious, of you being unconfident, of you being nervous in social interactions, I do not think that that is going to change unless you change your self-image. Because you're just going against who you see yourself as. You're going against what you view as right for you, as what you deserve as a person. And when you do that, your brain and body kick in, your nervous system kicks in, and it will defend that self-image. It's a defense mechanism. We develop self-images when we're really young. It's as a way for us to, it's kind of an animalistic instinct in us. It's for survival's sake. And so yes, anything you do against the self-image that you have, anything that's opposite of that, even if it lasts for some kind of amount of time, it snaps back. I think you probably have experienced that before. Efforts to be more socially confident, these things, they don't last long, if at all, for any length of time, because it's just resisting what you really see yourself as, which is unconfident, socially anxious, etc. So at this point, you might be saying, this information is cool, sounds great, but what can I do for myself to actually put this into practice? What can I do for me tomorrow, in the next hour, this evening at my social event that I'm going to, in the date that I'm going on with a girl? What can I do, practically speaking, to actually make this work for me? How can I actually benefit from what you're telling me? Because I get it. I don't want to be another channel that just tells you cool sounding information and then that's it. There's no practical application. There's no depth about this is the steps to take to apply it. It's just, I hear some cool information and then maybe they kind of cover practical steps, but they just kind of skip over it and none of it's really that helpful. That's the last thing I want. And so the next part of this video is going to be me telling you the practical way to apply this technique of self-image, of visualization. So the first thing I would say that needs to happen is that you have to change your mindset on getting, quote unquote, rid of the negative thoughts in your brain. It's the wrong approach to try to get rid of them. Any thoughts, any behaviors that you desperately try to get rid of will increase in your life. You ever tried to quit a bad habit? Us guys know. It's like quitting porn is really difficult. because it's this bad habit that we're desperately shoving against trying to quit. That never happens, right? Any negative behavior, any negative thought pattern, these things, if you try, again, there's massive bodies of work in psychology covering this. The more you try to get rid of a negative thing in your life, negative action, negative thought, it will compound, it will increase in your life. So don't keep trying. When you start getting negative thoughts, don't try desperately to not think them. Because then it's the white elephant effect, right? It's like, don't think of a white elephant and white elephant, white elephant, white elephant. It's not helpful. What you're going to do instead is just replace the negative thinking with positive thinking. And I know everybody goes, oh, positive thinking. Great. Thanks a lot. That was really helpful, Noah. Just think more positively, guys. Good idea. That'll work for us. The point of this is not me telling you, just think more positively, bro, about your life. Just bear with me. Don't try to get rid of the negative thoughts. Just replace them. And what I want you to replace them with is new positive thoughts that promote a confident, charismatic, charming, socially poised, socially adept person. Okay, it doesn't require you to change any mental processes. Visualization kind of turns into this like, oh, this is kind of an annoying mental like task that now I have to go through for it to work for me. But that's not true. Because you do visualization all the time. That process that I explained earlier in the video, you do that all the time. You already do it. Before going into social interactions, right? 11 a.m. on a Saturday, you start thinking about the social interaction you're going into at 5 p.m. and you're visualizing. Visualization is a 3-step process. You create a sentence, you attach an image to that sentence, then you attach an emotion to that image. So for you, the type of visualization you're doing right now, this negative visualization, it's maybe not exactly this, but it's something like, okay, you create a sentence like, I'm going to be awkward. Okay, now you're attaching an image. Maybe you think of a real event that has happened to you, or you just start picturing in your brain what being awkward is going to look like in the social interaction later. Then you attach an emotion to that image. You deeply feel within you, and you can easily, quickly conjure up these very powerful negative emotions inside you of awkwardness, of shyness, of timidity, of social anxiety, right? You have sentence, you have image, you have emotion. All you have to do, again, is don't stop doing this. Just flip it. Now it's, I am a confident person. You start imagining in your brain what that's going to look like. And even if that's fake, remember, all of the negative thoughts you're having are fake too. So just think fake positive ones. Right? You start conjuring this image in your mind of, okay, I look this way, I'm acting this way, this is how I'm standing, right? Then you attach an emotion to that image. Now this part gets kind of tricky, but if you practice it, it's going to be easy for you. You may be sitting there thinking, how do I conjure up a feeling of confidence in myself if I've never really been confident in social interactions? Well, the thing is that emotion of confidence doesn't have to come from a social interaction. That good feeling of confidence can come from any time in your life that you may have felt confidence, even for a split second. All of us have had at one point or another, at least one time, where we did feel confident, where we felt proud of ourselves, where we felt good about ourselves, where we just felt present, we felt kind of at peace with things. You're not worried about what everyone else is doing, you're just good in yourself and you see yourself in this kind of cool way, right? Whatever that moment is, whether that's a random moment when you were playing sports as a kid, it's a time where you did really well on a test, or you were just at the park hanging out with your dad and your brother or something, you know what I mean? Anytime, it doesn't matter. When I say it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Just grab that emotion from that time and attach it to this image of you being socially confident and charismatic. Brother, you taking this information and applying it in your own life will get you results. If you take seriously what I've said and you apply the steps properly, this will bear fruit in your life. You will start to see yourself as confident and charismatic. And then because of that, you'll just start doing the actions automatically to build on that self-image and to build on it and to build on it and to build on it and to build on it. And now that self-image is increasing in your life. And it feels right to do the socially confident things, the charismatic things, the socially adept things. If you guys take and apply this information, I'd really love to know how it turns out for you. So drop me a comment or go DM me on Instagram or something to let me know how it works. Anyways, that's all I've got for you this evening. Shut out the noise, do the work.